I'm all the way turned up. I ain't smoking, but my homie ain't. Shout out to Peter Pan, Skyline Imperial. We out here trying to function.
Okay. You ain't hear that? You ain't hear that?
I already know what time it is, man. Another episode of the Neff Show! Yes, sir. There is salvation in no one else. God has given all the name under heaven by which you must be saved. We speak as messengers approved by God to be entrusted with the gospel. Our purpose is to please God, not people. Remember that. Remember that. Yeah. About to ask some people, random people, man, to see how they feel about the social injustice thing. You dig what I'm saying? So follow your boy. What time it is, man? It's your boy Neff live in effect. I got fat 3927 running around with 66 10 toes down. Yo, I got a special friend in the building today, man. Fire, what's good, yo? Yeah, it's my friend Fire, man. Yo, Fire is legit, yo. She do hair. For all those who ain't got no hair, she could hook you up. For those who do got hair, she could hook you up. About to go into his barber shop right quick. Talk to the barber, man. My barber T. My brother right here, man. I love him to death. You know, every time I get a cut, I look good. I also get inspired too with a good word, you know.
Oh, man. I ain't see you in a minute.
What's good, bro? Yo,
same old.
got your boy Nick in the building, man. What's good, fam? How you feeling, man?
Feeling good. It's always good, man.
I got a special friend in the building today. I just met her today, and she's real special. She's a believer like me. You feel me? And introduce yourself, young lady.
My name is Tiara.
Hey, I got my boy Nick in the building, man. What's going on, bro? Yeah, all right. But today, man, we're going to discuss about social injustice, and I thought that it'll be, a perfect time to speak with those who's been through situations as far as like dealing with law enforcement, inequality. So I just thought that, I ask, some of these questions to my friend over here and see if she could share her insight and her personal views of social injustice. Like, how do you feel about today's social injustice? Like, pertaining to the things that went down in Louisiana, Minnesota, cops, getting killed. Like, what is your point of view on that?
Well, as far as the departments, like the police departments in general, I feel like there's obviously a bad amount of training going on.
Okay.
Like, obviously, we're in a state of mind where basically the citizens are scared, and so are the police officers. So they're quick to react without actually looking at the situation at hand, not taking proper precautions, not asking the right questions, obviously not arresting the right people.
But question I want to ask T is what is your point of view on the social injustice as far as like cops getting killed, cops killing innocent bystanders? Like, how do you feel about it?
I think that the law system needs to reevaluate these officers and make sure they're competent and putting police in predicaments that they're not used to, handling. For an example, you can't take an officer who grew up in the suburbs all their life and bring them to the unfortunate community. Because there's a lot of stuff that go on here in the unfortunate communities that they fear. Mm-hmm. And that will cause them to, grab their gun and do all kind of stuff like that. But I think, this is what I think us, good people, need to become cops. That's the only way we're going to get the corruption out. Mm-hmm. You ask the average young black man, 18 years old, about becoming a police officer, he don't want to do it. But we want to complain about how corrupt the system is. So in order for us to change the system, we gotta have good-hearted people to join the police force to take it over like that. But until we do that, it's gonna be, corruption everywhere. And now we got people killing police officers. All that's gonna do is just make cops quicker to shoot. That's all that's gonna do. What we need to do is we need to come together with our local police officers, and we need to come to some kind of truce. You know,
Some type of agreement.
some type of agreement on the way they treating us and the way, you know, we're gonna treat them. Because I'm not taking up for bad cops or nothing like that, but we intimidate police officers sometimes when they pull us over, the way we talk to them, and this and that, you know. Now, police are human people, you know. They learn everything in the police academy except on how to deal with a situation when it comes down to them fearing for their life. You understand what I'm saying? Until you put into a real situation, you don't know how to deal with that. It's one thing to be trained to deal with something, you know in your mind that this is a training. And it's another thing to be in a real life situation.
Where you have to experience it.
Right. And, you know, speaking about what happened down the street here, about the 2 people getting killed, this is a, you know, well-known crime area. And the average police officer is really afraid to be here. So that make them draw their weapon even quicker, you know. So that's why we gotta let them know that we're not animals. You know, you don't have to draw your gun on me, Mr. Officer. You know, I'm a person, I'm a human being just like you. So we gotta come together with, you know, the police officers and you know.
Yo, Nick,
work
man,
things out.
I want to ask you, man, because, you know, I'm trying to get this Neff show going. I want to know, bro, what's your perspective, though, on what's going on as far as, like, in social injustice? Like, how do you view it, bro? Like, what's your perspective on it?
Social injustice is unfair. Judging by race isn't right. Everyone's equal. I don't agree with everything that's going on with social injustice. It can be changed, but you can't change everything. It's only worth it. Fix it. You can't. It is what it is.
I gotta ask you this question, you know what I'm saying? Especially us looking like each other. My question to you is this: have you ever been mistreated by law enforcement? You know, other citizens who doesn't look like you, quote unquote. Have you ever experienced personally social injustice?
Where I was working in a barber shop where a new owner of the plaza decided that he wanted everybody out. So of course, where we were seeing posts, they made pages and were posting them on poles saying, this is not a pigsty, go back to your country, which they were referring to the Haitians in that area. And yeah, so we've had a lot of problems with that. We're to the point where the police were called on me just for looking around and having, of course, other skin tone say on the phone while calling 911, I need help. There's a lot of angry black people here, and I'm the only white person here. The lady has red hair and tattoos, because at the time I had red hair. So obviously I fit the description of somebody that is violent, and I needed to be arrested that day. When they got there, they obviously did not want to know what happened. They just need to know who they were there to arrest. So thank God there was other people there that had calmed me down, because I was just in shock of what was happening at the time. So I sat back and did nothing but tap my foot, and if I felt like if I were there to defend myself, I probably would have been arrested that day.
Well, my question is to you: have you ever been mistreated by any type of law enforcement?
Well, you know, it's funny you said that, because like I had an incident maybe 2-3 months ago.
Right?
Where I was driving. I just bought an Infiniti, 2009.
2009.
Yeah, cops see me, and apparently my car matched the description of a stolen car, and they see a black person inside the car, and they said it was a black person that stole a vehicle. So they see me driving. I pull out the gas station. I see these cops following me. They pull me out and automatically put your hands on your head, and they claim I had a weapon in the car at Cumberland's right here in 6th Ave. About 9 cops, everybody with guns out. 9 cops. And I had a homeboy that works at Cumberland also. He seen it. He's like, that wasn't right. But honestly, I know people make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't think about it like, man, I'm black. What's been going on? They just going to shoot me. I'm like, no. So I did everything they told me to do. It got kind of rough at some point where they was, you know, putting their arms all over me and all that. But I just followed it. And after that, they apologized. It was like, thank you for going through with everything. I'm sorry, you know, you matched the description. I'm glad you went through it, everything, because it could have went 2 ways. And I was like, yeah. And they were telling me how you heard about the stories and everything. I'm like, yeah, but I understand it's from people, pretty much miscommunication, because people react different ways. If you act this way, it's going to cause something else. It's, you know, it's cause and effect. But if you follow directions, you know, people are on their job and they just trying to do what they got to do. And some people make mistakes. So you can't just blame them for that. You can't accuse them for that. So, you know, I'm right here. I didn't get shot. You don't see people protesting for me. My mom ain't crying. I ain't dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm here.
Praise God.
God is good.
That's all it is, man.
Praise God, brother. Praise God, man. You already know, man. You see, look, man, at the end of the day, you don't have to get rowdy, go crazy, man. Just listen to what the cop is saying, and then, you know, if cooperate. You dig? Just cooperate.
They did draw the guns, though, because they was almost certain it was me. But when they saw how I was cooperating, they realized, like, maybe it wasn't this guy. Like, if I was like, nah, what y'all, you know what I'm saying, how people usually act, like, no, I didn't even do nothing. What do you think would have happened then? Stop resisting. Then we would have had a whole different situation.
It done happen to me plenty of times. The police done approached me, and he already had an attitude, I guess, from dealing with
Somebody
you know,
previously. Yes.
And just from me saying yes sir, no sir, and you know, doing whatever he tell me to do, the attitude beginning to, you know, shift. See what I'm saying?
From a biblical standpoint, what kind of biblical advice you can give young believers if they were ever to experience any type of social injustice, you know, pertaining to any type of law enforcement, at work, etc., etc.? Like, what would you tell them?
Honestly, I mean, the Bible speaks on it several times.
Okay.
Something that it says is, you know, one, you need to love your brother.
Okay.
You know, and it doesn't matter if they're white or black or Mexican or Guatemalan, or if they're from this side of town or that side of town, or if they work at this place and you work at that place. Like, it doesn't matter. You love your brother.
Amen.
You know? And also, you know, Jesus was ridiculed. Jesus was crucified. And unfortunately, as believers in this day and age, you're going to be ridiculed, you know, for certain things, whether it's your skin color or your beliefs, the way you talk, the way you dress. But you can't let yourself stoop down to that level. Okay. Because there's a bigger plan, there's a bigger picture here that a lot of people aren't seeing. God has a plan for this nation. He has a plan for me. He's got a plan for you. He's got a plan for Farrah. He's got a plan for everybody.
Amen.
And for me, it's very important to try and not get caught up in the he said, she said. I believe that a lot of cops have done a lot of bad things. I believe that they have hidden behind their badge and they have abused their authority. But I also do believe that in some cases, the other side, us as civilians, we've taken advantage of some of the cops who have, you know, abused their authority, so we just look at everybody in the same way.
Gotcha.
You know, you can't judge this cop based on what this cop did. You know, and it's hard to not take it personal, because especially if it's somebody you care about, but you can't do that. So, like, my advice would just be, what does the Bible say about it? What is it that God would want you to do about it? You know, you can't just act in the flesh, you gotta act in the spirit.
Woo! Bars! Bars! Yo, that's, y'all heard that? I love it. Yo, I have no words for that, like, for real. Yo, I really appreciate that, though, you know, and, people, I hope you guys are listening, because at the end of the day, you gotta act in the spirit, not in the flesh. Yeah. Amen to that. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
100.
From a biblical standpoint, you know, how do you view social injustice? Like, what advice can you give to the young believers out there who's either experienced it, went through it, seen it, like, from a biblical point of view? Like, how do you know what I'm saying, would you, like, tell them?
All I can really say is get your life right, because we are in the last days. All of it has already been written. The sad part about it is, okay, most of us are starting to wake up, but not too many. So, I mean, that has been written as well. We're all seeing it as like a physical war, because we're in the physical realm right now, but the most important part that we don't understand is it's actually a spiritual war going on.
Amen.
So, everybody's rounding up their little crews, and especially, of course, the devil. So he will use the people that can, of course, attack us the most, the ones that are with the weapons, the man-made weapons or whatever. But I feel like if we don't get our personal lives together, then of course we're going to lose the war.
Amen.